Hey guys, Jason Howland here, JHC, Jason Howland Corporation, coming at you live. Really excited tonight. We're going to take some live callers in a couple of minutes here. But I want to talk about something. There's 4 major actions. Obviously, you guys know sales take action. Hey, Jeff, how's it going, man? Good to see you on here. There's 4 major actions that you got to take in order to get to the close, right? Now, the close is the main action. You got to get there. The whole deal, if the opportunity to close comes up, you got to get there. Hey, Miguel D's in the house. What's happening? So you got to get to the close, but there's 4 major actions you have to do to get there, okay? So the first action that you have to do, and we're going to take some callers and we're going to go over how to get these actions done, but right now is you got to meet with customers, right? Or talk to customers on the phone if that's how your business goes. Hey, Jacob's in the house. If your business goes sitting on the phone with people, if it's in face-to-face sales, whatever's going on, whatever you're doing, you got to get as many customers as you can, right? So I'm sure you're out there thinking, well, how do you do that? What are you going to do to get those customers? Well, the first and number one way, and if you're not thinking this, you will be as soon as I say it, is to get referrals. I'll say it again, get referrals. A study was done last year. 85%, that's 85 out of 100 of the referrals that you get sign with you that day right then. That's huge. If you can get referrals for half of your business, you're going to increase your closing rate. You're going to make more money off each deal because you're not spending those marketing dollars to get them in there. Hey, Evelina, how you doing? So you're not going to be spending as much. So referrals are going to be the number one way. Everybody wants to grab those. Those leads and those generated leads is through referrals. So in a little bit, we're going to talk about how you get referrals. I'll tell you what I do, and we'll try to add some value to each other's life. The other thing you got to do to get in front of people, guys, and this is the one a lot of people don't like to do, and that is work, man. You got to get those cold calls in. You got to knock those doors. You got to hammer those phones. You got to pick them up and make 100 calls and make 100 more. Or you got to get in front of people. You got to take the leads you're given and find 5 more people. You know, you got to make sure that you're in there getting all of those things. My lovely wife joined us, Angela. Love ya. So, guys, you got to make sure you're working as hard as you can to generate leads, get in front of customers, get on the phone with customers, whatever it takes, but you're going to want to make sure that you get in front of as many people as you can. So that's the first of 4 actions. The next action that we're going to want to take is we've got to get our people committed. We've got to get our people committed. Hold on, we're going to take a call. Hello, this is Jason. You're live. Hey, what's going on?
My name's Ned. I'm in Austin, Texas.
What's happening, Matt? What's going on?
Hey, it's Ned, N-E-D, but that's irrelevant. I was just going to say, man, I hear you talking about hammering doors and getting new business and stuff. I've got a little bit of performance anxiety when it comes to hammering out new business and getting it. And I was wondering if you had any tips, because I do in-home sales, and the leads are real weak right now in my industry, so I was wondering if tips for me getting the confidence enough to knock doors and stuff.
We got Ned here. Ned's question is this. Ned, let me ask you this. You said you have no problem pitching once you're in a lead, correct? So like you go in the house and you're selling something in the home, right? What are you selling?
Vacuums.
Vacuums, okay. So you're door to door, you're knocking doors. Once you're in the house, you're comfortable, but you're having trouble getting the courage to get up there and get to the door, right?
Well, yeah, we actually get leads, and I get about 2 leads a day. But I it's just not enough. And right now, I'm only getting 1. I don't know what's going on with the industry.
Okay.
And I feel like I should be banging doors, but I feel like it's kind of cliche, with the vacuum salesman thing and all.
Jen's in the house. Hey, okay, so what Ned says is that he wants to generate his own leads. He's given leads by his company. Hey, Mel, and he's given leads by his company, and he wants to get more leads. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah.
But you're just having a little bit of anxiety about knocking those doors and being the cliche of the vacuum salesman, right?
That's quite literally what it is. As funny as it may be, it's literally what it is.
Okay, check this out, dude. Dude, you listening to me, Ned?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. I need you to listen really close. Dude, check it out. Get over it, man. You got to get over it. You're going to be in sales. You got to get over it, man. Okay, so what you need to do, here, I'm going to tell you what to do. Go find this is what somebody told me. Go find yourself a crowded elevator somewhere. You live in you said you're down in Austin?
Yeah, I'm in Austin.
I'm sure there's a crowded elevator in Austin. Get in it. And when people come into the elevator, I want you to put on a comedy show. I want you to thank everybody for coming out. You laughing at me, man. Don't laugh. You're going to take some action, right, Ned?
I am going to take some action. Do you think that will help?
Dude, trust me. Listen, I was selling cologne on the streets in a Hawaiian shirt with a Wisconsin cheese hat on back in the day, right? And so my boss told, well, I wasn't wearing the cheese hat or the shirt. I was in a shirt and tie, all stuffy, not doing my thing, man. And so my boss is like, dude, you got to start talking to people. You can sell, but you got to talk to people, right? So he's like, dude, go get in the elevator. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, find a crowded elevator. I went down to the courthouse, got in the elevator, and started putting on my own little comedy show. And, you know, like, I was, like, literally trembling, dude, when I started this. But I'm telling you, I got off that elevator a new person. Dude, check it out. Michael Taylor in the house. So, dude, what I did was I got on that elevator, man, and when I came off, dude, I was out there in a Hawaiian shirt, Wisconsin cheese hat like the Green Bay fans wear. Don't even watch Green Bay, but that's beside the point. And so, like, I was out there, dude, grabbing every person I could find in the middle of the street, like, dude, come here, smell this. Come here, dude, check it out, man, check it. Dude, and I was killing it, right? So the point that I'm making is you got to get out of your comfort zone, dude. You got to forget that anxiety, man. Hey, Ned, thanks for calling in, man. And listen, I want you to keep in touch with me, man. Message me. Tell me how it works. We'll have you call in next week and tell us how it worked out for you, okay?
I will do, Jason. Thanks so much.
No problem, man. Awesome to talk to you. We'll talk to you again soon. All right, so prospecting, it's hard work, and you got to get out of your comfort zone. We heard that from Ned. Listen, guys, callers, we're going to take callers. Again, the number is 586-231-1497, okay? 586-231-1497. We're going to take live callers. Now, the next thing we got to talk about, number one, was get in front of people. Number two, we need to get them committed, all right? Hey, Vaughn, what's going on, man? We need to get them committed to our product. So we need to get them to tell us they love what we're showing them, okay? They got to love it. So how are we going to do that? We're going to ask quality questions. We're going to do things like that. So that's the next thing. Danny, what's going on, man? Good to hear from you or see you on here, man. Make sure you hit that invite button for me, dude. All right, so we're going to get them committed. You got to have that customer like, this is what I'm getting. Whether I get it from Jason or I get it from somebody else, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that they're getting what I'm selling, and then I'm going to add value to it by talking about money, talking about how much better my product is and why, and that's going to get them committed. So throughout your pitch, you're going to want to ask them quality questions. We'll go over, I'll tell you what I do in a couple of minutes. Jordan, man, what's going on, man? So guys, make sure you're hitting that heart button. That gets me more relevance, man. Don't hit the like, hit the heart button. That gets me more, or the smiley face, or laugh at me, whatever you want to do. But check it out, man. Help me out. Hit those buttons. All right, so the next thing you got to do, guys, and this is the only thing that really matters when you're getting into sales of any kind. If you're on the phone, if somebody's mad at me, I love it. If you're on the phone, if you're out there knocking doors, if you're going to preset leads, if you're calling people, whatever, cold calling, business to business, if there's such a thing. I think it's people to people anyway. But if you're doing any kind of sales, I don't care how good you are at presenting. I don't care how good you are at talking to people. I don't care how much people like you. You need to learn to close deals. You have to learn to close deals. There's a million ways to do it. Dustin is in the house. What's going on, Dustin? There's a million ways to do it, okay? And so you've got to learn to close deals. You got to learn to overcome objections if there's any such thing. I think most objections are just stalls. Sales guys, a lot of times, sales ladies, they make a bigger deal out of the stall than there really is. So I want you to make sure that you know how to close. And then what I want you to do is follow up when they don't close, okay? Because here's the deal. A study was done last year, and it was the same study that talked about 85% of referrals close. It takes a minimum of 5 calls to get the sale. The average is 6 to get a sale when you're in a follow-up situation. If you don't close the first time, Jason Keys down in Florida, man, how's it going? So if you don't close the first time, you need to follow up at least 5 times. And here's the kicker: most salespeople don't call more than 3. Okay, so your follow-up is super important. Guys, we're going to take some callers. If anybody wants to talk about any of this stuff, number is 586-231-1497. Give us a call and we'll talk about how we're going to do this. So I'm going to go back now to the first step, and that's meet and talk with people. How do I get referrals? Give me a call anytime. We can talk about how you get referrals or how you get them committed or any of these things. 586-231-1497. Right now, I'm going to tell you how I get referrals. So I don't care if I sell them, I don't sell them, because I probably don't have, haven't even put a price in front of them yet. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask them, hey, do you have anybody that might need my services that I could help out, somebody who needs what I'm offering? And I can promise you, I can tell you what they're going to say. They're going to tell me no, or not right now, or I'm not sure, I'd have to think about that, let me get back to you, whatever, right? So here's the part nobody asks. Here's the part that nobody asks. If you did know, I want you to say this with me. If you did know, who would it be? It's really simple. You want to get referrals, you say, if you did know, who would it be? And basically, what you're going to do is they're going to come back. You'll be surprised. About 50% of the people that you talk to, if you did know, who would it be? They're going to tell you, well, it would be my brother-in-law, it'd be my cousin, it'd be my sister, my niece just bought a house, in fact, she needs exactly what you're offering. She needs security service or whatever you might be selling out there. So if you did know, who would it be? And if they shut you down again, you say, look, one name, man, everybody knows somebody who needs my product or my service. So make sure you're getting those referrals. The other thing is, how do you generate leads? How do you do a cold call? Again, we talked with Ned. Ned said he had trouble with the comfort zone. You got to get out of the comfort zone. You can't think about what other people think. Put it this way: anytime you think you're going to look stupid, look stupider. Okay, people. Anytime you think you're going to look stupid, look stupider. You have to risk looking dumb in order to look good doing anything. Does that make sense? You have to look dumb before you can ever look good doing anything. So make sure, guys, that you're out of your comfort zone. You're doing that cold calling, and you're doing that. Desi, what's going on? So basically, you want to get referrals. You want to meet as many people as you can, and you want to work real hard and be out of your comfort zone. Develop some leads. All right, next thing, you got to get them committed. So you got to ask qualifying questions to commit them. Okay, so somebody's trying to dial here and I'm having trouble seeing what. Okay, so if you're trying to dial, the number is 586-231-1497, and you can get through to us and we'll answer your call right here live, and we'll answer any questions, talk about anything that you got going on. So if you want to get them committed, you got to ask qualifying questions. So what do you think about my product so far? Tell me what you like best. Okay, so and then come back to them with, so what you're saying is you like my stereo system because it's going to have a more quality sound than the other stereo system that you looked at before or that you might have been considering, correct? Now, the next step in this is every time you get one of those commitments, you want to add some value. Matt, what's happening? You want to add some value, and the way you do that is, now obviously a sound like this, if you're selling a stereo, obviously a sound like this is going to cost a little more than some of that other stuff that you might have looked at in the past, correct? You understand that, right? Because quality always costs a little more, and you're going to move on. Now, one thing we didn't talk about, when you're getting them committed, one way to find out if they're committed is your trial close. So you've done your pitch, you're about to move into the closing the closing section of your presentation. Okay, so you're going to move into the close and you're ready to get on from the pitch to the close. One thing I always do is ask them something like this: have you seen enough to make a decision? Have I shown you a product or products that would exceed your needs, that would make you 100% happy? You have. Okay, now here's the kicker, okay? You get that? Have you seen enough to make a decision? Okay, so if the dollars make sense on this, if I can knock it out of the park, hey, my mom just watched, wow, that's amazing. So if you can knock it out of the park with the price, we can move forward today. Is that kind of what I'm hearing you say? And they say, yes, no, maybe. So it doesn't matter. There's a couple of things that this does. That's your trial close. It also tells you what the objection's going to be before you lay a price down in front of your customer. Okay? So, yeah, mom's laughing at me. That's funny, mom. So anyway, you lay the price down after, so you know what your objection is. So they say to you, well, no, I'm going to definitely get 3 more quotes before I move forward on anything right now. I got to think about it, whatever they say. Okay, well, really, like you said before, because their words, you asked them those qualifying questions. That's why those commitments are so important. Like I said before, you said, you wanted a quality stereo, for instance, and you didn't want to go with that lower thing that you talked about earlier. You wanted to go with exactly what we were talking about. So really, when you're thinking about it, you're just going to be thinking about whether or not the dollars make sense. You're just going to be comparing to make sure that the dollars make sense. Now, let me ask you a question, and you go back into another question about the price. Well, like you said before, you haven't seen anything like this yet, have you? And let me ask you this. Like you said, I've been the best representative of a product you've seen yet. So one thing you're not going to get with one of those other companies is what? Me, right? So you've got all of that ammunition, but you haven't even put your price down. And here's the thing. Now it's time to close. You gave them the trial close. They said yes. They said no. They said whatever. Have you seen enough to make a decision? Okay, if the price makes sense to you, is there any reason we can't move forward today? And now it's time to close. So you lay that price down. You say the price, whatever it is, however if you're on the phone or if you're in person, you slide a price across the table. However you present your price, the price is in front of them. At this point, they're going to give you objections, but we already know from our trial close that the dollars were the only objection. So now you're in what? When you're talking about money based on trying to sell a product, you're talking about a negotiation, correct? So if you're in a negotiation, you're talking about money, now you have the ability to sell your price to them. Well, let me ask you this. You get a price objection, it's really simple. Let me ask you this. Do you ever overpay for anything else? You do. Have you bought a gallon of milk lately? Hey, Edward, what's going on, man? You bought a gallon of milk lately? Anything like that? So you know that everything costs too much, right? So the fact is, you overpay for your milk, you overpay for your oil change, you overpay for gas every week, you overpay for just about everything you've ever bought. Okay, now let me ask you this. You told me my product was the best product you've seen like this, correct? So if my product, Wesley, what's going on? If my product is the best that you've seen, would you rather overpay for the best product or overpay for some junk somewhere else? It's time to get this thing done, isn't it? So now you're at the close. And now, one thing, guys, anybody wants to call in, ask any questions, talk about any of these points that we've talked about so far. Just to give you an update, we're talking about the 4 actions it takes to get the close. Okay? The 4 actions that it takes to get the close. And so we talk about getting in front of people. How do you do that? How do you get referrals? How do you do the work? How do you cold call? How do you get out of your comfort zone? We talked about getting them committed to your product. Which one of these do you like better? So you like this one better, and so you wouldn't settle for this one even if it was cheaper, right? So you got those commitments, you got them, and then you do your trial close. That's going to bring us to our trial close is going to be, so have you seen enough to make a decision? So based on that, Oh, we got a caller. Go ahead, you're live.
Hey, what's going on, Jason? It's Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, man. Nice to talk to you, man. What's going on?
Nah, not too bad. Not like the other 2 times we talked today already, right?
Hey, I love talking to you, though, man. I'll talk to you all day long. So, listen, Jeff, what did you want to talk about? How to get in front of people, how to get them committed, how to close, or how to follow up?
Well, it's a little bit about asking some of the tougher questions. I mean, I've come around. I mean, I'll ask anything, even if you bring something up over the phone. Anything you tell me, I will repeat to the customer. You know, I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
But to me, though, sometimes it's
just hold 1 second, Jeff. Just so you guys. Hey, Jeff, 1 second. Just to let me explain. Jeff works with me all the time, so if he talks like he knows me a little bit, that's because we work together. Blake, man, what's going on? All right, Jeff. So you're saying the tougher things. You have no problem repeating it back. So start there.
So I don't have a problem with that, but then when I'm on my own, sometimes I think it's a little maybe intrusive to maybe go for that follow-up. Okay, well, if you don't know anybody, or if you do know somebody, who would it be? Sometimes that's not bad. It's not an immoral thing, but it's just I have a hard time mentally overcoming that. In that immediately.
I understand. So in case you can't hear what Jeff's asking, his question is, how do I get from apprehensive about those tricky questions or apprehensive about some of those tougher things to ask, or those, when you're in sales, you got to be able to just say it, right? That's kind of what you're getting at, Jeff? All right.
Correct, because it's not immoral. I'm not asking anything bad.
Nope, you're not.
No smoke and mirrors, but, just a mental block.
Exactly. So here's what I want to. This is a 2-part answer, and I'm going to write them down because I got that ADA, attention deficit advantage. So just a second. So the first one, Jeff, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to think about this, Jeff. What does sales do for the economy?
Boost it.
Sales boost the economy. Okay, let me ask you this, Jeff. When you sell something, what do you sell, Jeff?
Roofing, siding, windows,
home improvement. So when you sell these products, a crew takes money home to their family, right?
Correct.
And when you sell these products, suppliers get paid, correct?
Yes.
The salaries around your office, they get paid from the stuff you sell too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you got to be a little bit bold to get people's salaries paid, to feed kids who belong to the children of the crews, to improve somebody's home, and to make sure that lives are better around your local economy and beyond, is there really a problem with asking those questions?
No.
Okay, that's the first thing. Next time you feel apprehensive, ask yourself the moral question. Okay? Next time you feel apprehensive about pushing a little bit or whatever, ask yourself this: am I going to feed somebody's family today, or am I going to go home and leave them empty-handed?
Right.
Okay? So remember, sales is a noble profession. People don't make decisions without salespeople, and without salespeople, there wouldn't be gum on the shelves at the party store. You know what I mean? Without somebody to sell everything, nobody would have anything. So you are at the root, at the very base of the economy, Jeff. That is what you do. You're in sales. It's a noble profession. Never forget that. Okay?
Right.
So that's the first thing. Now the next thing that you have to do is you've got to understand that fear is not something that should stop you unless you're in physical danger. Okay? Fear should not stop you unless you're in physical danger, because you're in sales. Fear is an indicator that it's time to say something, right? Fear is exactly what you need to see that it's time to close. Because if you've ever noticed, that fear starts right at closing time. That fear starts right when you're going to get that referral. That fear starts right when you're going to get them committed to something that you need to ask a tough question for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Okay, so now when it's time to say that tough question, you got to take that fear and look at it as a piece of wisdom, as knowledge that it's time to move, okay? And so instead of thinking, oh my goodness, should I do it? You say, oh, fear, I better move, right? So you say, so what I was able to do is get this thing and the whole thing, and listen, I'm going to say the word only just to drive it home. This thing is only $23,421. Let's go ahead and get it done, put the hand out, right? That simple, that confident, never stop your confidence, get those closing statements out there. Did you want to pay check or did you need to finance? Right? When you feel that fear, put it out there. Hey, do you want to pay with a check? Do you want to finance? Let's get it done. Hey, if they're giving you excuses, you know this one, Jeff. Somebody says, I got to check my finances. What am I going to do?
Well, I mean, you already knew your finances coming into this. Can you afford to pay for it by check?
That's not bad. Let me ask you this. Jeff, give me the same objection.
Well, I got to check my finances, Jason.
Okay, you got to check your finances. You know how much money you got in the bank, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I got an idea.
Can you afford this, yes or no?
No.
No? We need to finance then, don't we? Let's get this application filled out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Boom, hit them with it. That's what you got to do. You got to close, man. You know, that's what closing is. So the question is, when that fear comes up, what are you going to do next time?
Push forward.
You're going to push forward. Okay, so I'm going to give you one more, Jeff. I'm going to give you one more objection. Jeff, I really need to think about it.
You need to think about it? Okay. So while you're thinking about it, are you going to be thinking about a less comparable product or the same kind of product for maybe a lesser price?
I'm going to be thinking about a comparable product for less.
Okay. So for what you're telling me is we just got to make the dollars make sense, right?
Yeah. So now you got me back to negotiation. Good. Hey, I see Jacob out there. Hey, man, Jacob, why don't you give me a call, Jeff? It's been great talking to you. I'm going to give Jacob a chance. He says he's trying to call me, I think. So, Jacob, give me a call. Hey, Alex, what's going on? So Jeff was asking about, how to say those tough questions, how to get them out there. Hey, this is probably Jacob. Let me see. This is Jason. You're live. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, this is Jacob?
Yeah, man, me and Kellen are watching the show.
Jacob just had a baby boy. Hey, Mark, man, nice to see you on here. Jacob just had a baby boy. We're all really proud and excited about that. Congratulations live here, Jacob.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Hey, I had you call because I knew you were itching to get at that objection that Jeff was just overcoming.
Did I check your finances?
Yeah, Jacob, listen, man, everything looks really good, but, man, I got to check my finances.
You got to check your finances.
I do.
Uh-huh. And?
I got to check them. What do I do? So I'll check them and I'll give you a call later.
Let me ask you this, Jason, and don't answer it on
Tom.
okay? How much money do you have? You got the number in your head?
Yeah, I know how much money I have.
Can you afford this?
No, I can't.
You can't afford it? All right, we're going to have to get you financed.
You're going to have to get me finance. You can do that?
We can do that for you. Is your credit score not too terrible?
My credit score is awesome, man. Let's get this done.
Let's get it done, buddy.
Kellen said get it done too, man. Hey,
buddy. All right, man.
Awesome. Hey, thanks, Jacob. I just wanted to go through that with you. Guys, we got a couple minutes left. 586-231-1497. Any questions, any comments on this? Remember, 4 major actions you got to take to get the sale. Meet with, talk to customers. The best way to do that is to get referrals. If you're not getting the referrals, ask for more referrals. They tell you no. Hey, listen, if you did know somebody, who would it be, all right? Next thing, you got to work real hard and you got to get out of your comfort zone. That's what we've come up with so far. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Ned. Thank you, Jacob. And then you got to get them committed to your product. So you're going to ask qualifying questions so you know which one would you rather have. This one, if you're in roofing or siding, you could say, well, you wouldn't want to settle for a company without insurance, would you? They say no. You go, all right. So obviously you're not going to go with this if it doesn't have insurance, correct? Perfect. So then you get them committed. The next thing is to close. The biggest thing about closing, and I'll tell you right now, hey Jeff, you're back watching. It was nice talking to you. The biggest thing about closing, guys, is that you have to ask for the business. You have to ask for the business over and over and over again so that you can get this thing done. It takes the average person, it takes about 5 times asking for the business. Guess how often salespeople get to 5 times asking for the business? Usually they get to about 3 and they quit. So how many salespeople are missing out on 20% of their deals or so because they're not getting to that 5th time? Hey, let's get this done. Let's do it. Let's roll. Let's rock, man. Even dude, you know, like they tell me, listen, I was looking for one of these guys to say this to me. Somebody tells me they want to check their finances. Everybody knows how much money they have down to the last couple of bucks anyway. And so like, if you say to me, I got to check my finances, we've been having a good talk and relationship through the thing, I'm going to be like, hey Kevin, what's going on? I'm going to be like, dude, I'm going to put my hand out and I'm going to hold it there till they shake it. Because there is no way they need to check their finances. They know what that is. And then guys, we didn't talk much about follow-up because salespeople hate follow-up, but I'll tell you right now, you're losing about 20% of your deals if you're not following up with your customers. You're losing about 25% of your deals if you're not following up with your customers. So the fact of the matter is, you got to call them. You got to call them. There's nothing bad. What are they going to do? Shoot you through the phone? You got to stop back by. They're not going to hurt you. Ask them, hey, I was out last week. I talked to you last week. I stopped by last week, and we talked, and I was just wondering if you're prepared to make that decision right now. I mean, whatever. Hey, did you want to do this or what, man? Yes or no? You know. So follow-up is super important. And did you know that it takes at least 5 calls on a follow-up situation to usually even get a buying situation back on the table? Okay? Now, it's going to happen in less than that, but understand that most salespeople stop at 1, stop at 2, if they're following up at all. In fact, I know of hey Stephanie, I know of whole sales organizations that don't follow up. They follow up for their people, and it costs their sales reps, 30, 40 grand a year. Okay, you need to follow up on your own customers. You're a grown-up. You got to follow up. You got to make that happen. So guys, remember, take action. That's the biggest thing we're talking about here. Take action to get in front of people. Take action to get your customers committed. Take action 27 times if you have to get the close. Don't be scared to close deals, and then follow up when you don't, and I promise you, you will increase your income. If you follow those 4 steps, and guys, if you're looking for some help getting that a little bit more hammered out and detailed, call me, 586-231-1497. I'd be happy to get you set up with some training. I'd be happy to get you set up and take great care of you over here at Jason Howland Corporation. Listen, guys, do the 4 major actions to a close. Get your referrals in every house, whether you sell it or you don't, or in every house or every sales situation, on every phone call. Hey, listen, do you know of anybody that might be looking for my product? No, well, no, Jason, I don't. Well, if you did know somebody, who would it be? Oh, my niece over down the street, she just was telling me she needed something just like this. So, okay, well, what's that phone number? I'll give her the friends and family pricing. So guys, let's make this happen. Guys, get out there. Valerie Stewie, my mom, she says, make closing great again. Absolutely. You know what? Sales is a noble profession that's gotten a bad rap from a bunch of sleazy people in the 80s and 90s that didn't know how to do it. Hey, Pete, man, how's it going? That didn't know how to do it. And guess what? Sales is a very noble profession. Get out there, close some deals, make yourself some real money. Richard, how you doing? Make yourself some real money. Do it honestly. Never lie to a customer. You don't need to do all that. You just got to get them committed. You got to get in front of them. You got to ask for the business as many times as it takes, and you got to follow up. And that's what's going to get you the deals. Listen, guys, it's been an awesome live show. I couldn't have even thought it would go as well as it did. I loved having you guys call in. That was awesome. Thanks to Ned, thanks to Jacob, and thanks to Jeff for calling in. Next time, guys, give us a call. If this video's been awesome, like it, share it, hit the heart button, actually. That gets me more relevance on Facebook. More people see it. And so make sure you hit those buttons. Make sure you're helping me grow so I can help you grow. And I want you to make today the best day of your life. I have trouble with this little button at the